Geophys's completed survey has revealed lots more buried archaeology for the experts to think about, and it can now be studied against our 3D model of the site. But most importantly, what the Geophys plot has given us is a much clearer idea about the layout of the 2nd century fort.
We can put on the ramparts and the ditches. Now we know about those, obviously. Phil's dug the trench right the way through it, so we've got a pretty good idea of that. Now we've got the headquarters building, which Kerry and the others have been opening the trenches up across, so we know that building's there, and it's pretty clear from the geophysics. Now that's the nodal point, if you like, and from this everything else pans off. So we can put in the other buildings according to the geophysics.
That's very good, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can really see those in the geophysics.
So there's the barracks, probably for the infantry. There's our headquarters building. I put granaries here and a commandant's house, but to be honest, we really can't be certain about exactly where those were in this fort. More barracks here, perhaps for a cavalry contingent, if there was one here. We end up, therefore, with roughly 480 infantry and possibly 120 cavalry at the end. Standard Roman unit.
Guy may be right, because it looks like there were definitely some cavalry here.
So if one of the trenches behind you...
This is really exciting. This is so Roman Imperial cavalry.
Really?
Yeah. It can only work in a limited number of places on the harness. As you can see, the main harnessing on the saddle itself, which stops the saddle from either moving forwards or backwards, has these fittings.
Right.
So it's more likely to be perhaps here, or on a brow band, somewhere where it's going to be more or less permanently in place. Line of them polished up, they'd look fantastic, as all of this harness does.
But for a Roman site, we've had relatively few finds.
I really expected there to be bucket loads of stuff.
Well, there are bucket loads of finds around here. They're just not on the fort because the Roman army did its housework when it packed up. It didn't leave the stuff around for the enemy or for anybody else. It cleared away the fort. And all the archaeology we've produced just suggests that this is a very complicated site with a lot of occupation, with several occupation layers in a very tight date range, but neatly cleared away every time.
And in most cases, we haven't gone into those layers of archaeology. We've just come down onto the top of them.
Which is precisely what we've done on our 2nd century headquarters building in several trenches. Finally, what can we say about it?
We didn't know whether this was a dividing wall or the back wall of the main building.
This is of the headquarters building?
The headquarters,
right,
yeah.
Right.
There might have been a room coming this way.
Right.
So we put this trench in,
yeah,
and all we've got is this road surface. That's all we could see on the geophysics.
But there might be something in this gap, mightn't there?
There might be something, but come and look at Phil's trench.
I've cracked it. I've cracked it. I tell you, we've actually got all the components in here. We've got the main road, and it actually stops here. And the reason it stops is that it's butting up against the back of the main wall.
It's difficult to see because the stone walls have been robbed away, but as I understand it, Phil's located the massive back wall of the building, and inside it, evidence of a room with a wooden partition wall and the trace of what might be a dais or raised floor. It's likely that this was the Chapel of the Standards, the room at the heart of the headquarters where they kept items such as a bronze Draco and the other valuables. And as we found lots of evidence of burning within this huge building, it seems likely that the Roman soldiers set fire to the headquarters just as they did to the wooden buildings, before leaving Western Scotland for the last time and withdrawing to Hadrian's Wall around 160 AD.
Hello, my name's John Gator. Time Team is fan-funded by Patreon. This vital support helps us to make new episodes. Joining Patreon gives you access to exclusive interviews, 3D models and masterclasses, plus lots more.